Welcome back to The Explainer. So today we're tackling something that is literally the lifeblood of the adult social care sector. But it's kind of funny. It usually only gets noticed when things go sideways. I'm talking about transport. Just think about it for a second. Getting vulnerable people from point A to point B safely, reliably, and efficiently, that literally sets the entire tone for the day of care. So today, we're going to dive into how we can completely transform this process, taking it from a daily state of friction into a state of seamless flow. Let me ask you something directly. What would you say is the most demanding part of running an adult social care service? I mean, you might instantly think it's the direct care itself, right? Or maybe the endless funding challenges. But operationally speaking, managing those tight schedules, constantly adapting to changing needs, and surviving that classic 8 a.m. Monday morning chaos when families are anxiously calling about where a vehicle is, that is so often the biggest daily hurdle a provider actually faces. Families, naturally, just want to know their loved ones are safe, and trying to balance those totally valid expectations with the unpredictable realities of traffic and routing, it's incredibly stressful for everyone involved.
Picture this. For a lot of care organizations, transport still basically runs on this chaotic mix of messy spreadsheets, frantic phone calls, and just hoping a paper log or a sticky note doesn't get lost in the shuffle. And honestly, it kind of works, right up until it doesn't. It works perfectly until a route changes at the absolute last minute, or a van is inevitably delayed, or you get that dreaded phone call from a worried relative. But digitizing these operations with live tracking, automatic alerts, and a centralized app, that completely removes that daily friction. And as we're about to see, the impact goes way, way beyond just basic convenience.
All right, let's dive into our first major shift here, moving toward total visibility and much faster responses. Real-time tracking is an absolute game changer because it finally eliminates all that guesswork. Suddenly, coordinators, drivers, and the families all get live visibility. You can see exactly where a vehicle is at any given second. I mean, think about what that actually means for your day. It dramatically reduces those anxious phone calls we just talked about. By removing that frantic administrative guessing game, you're literally giving your staff their time back, uninterrupted time to focus on what actually matters, which is the care itself. Because let's be real, surprises happen, right? Traffic jams, sudden delays, they're inevitable. But with an automatic notification system, any delays, incidents, or route changes instantly trigger alerts. And these go directly to families and carers. They can be sent right through an app or even as an automated phone call. So you're no longer relying on the fragile hope that a super busy staff member remembers to make a manual phone call in the middle of a chaotic delay. The system just handles the whole shebang for you, instantly. Ultimately, though, all this amazing technology really boils down to this one powerful quote from our source material. Families feel much more reassured knowing where the vehicle is at all times. We can geek out over software and routing algorithms all day long, but the core benefit here is profoundly human. It's about providing genuine peace of mind to people who are entrusting you with the folks they love the most.
Okay, moving right along to Section 2. Let's look at centralizing your administration and compliance.
Here's the bottom line. Less admin means more time for actual care. Centralized route management means that everything, we're talking absences, stop changes, daily incidents, gets logged into one single platform. Instead of your crucial operational data being scattered across random voicemails, quick texts, and lost sticky notes, it's all safely housed in one central hub. Just this one simple shift cuts hours, literally hours, of tedious manual admin work out of the schedule every single week. And when we start talking about compliance, wow, automated reporting is literally a lifesaver. We are talking about exact route durations, precise pickup times, GPS positions, and vehicle occupancy all being logged completely automatically. So when it's time for those quality audits or regulatory reviews, having this audit-ready data captured instantly makes the entire process so much faster and infinitely less stressful for your management team. Which brings us to Section 3. Creating a genuinely better experience for families. Think about the family's perspective for a moment. Giving them a self-service app is incredibly empowering. Families can just report absences or request route changes themselves, right from their smartphones. It completely removes the friction of a relative having to wait on hold during that crazy morning rush, or endlessly chasing admin staff by email just to say, hey, my loved one is sick today and won't need a ride. Giving them direct access like this creates a vastly smoother morning for absolutely everyone. Now you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but it'd be a nightmare to actually set up. Well, in Section 4, we're looking at how effortless this digital transition can actually be. Looking at platforms like BatOnRoute that were highlighted in the source material, the organizations really succeeding here aren't necessarily the massive ones with bottomless budgets. They're just the ones who decided to start early,
Let's break down how effortless the setup actually is, starting with the number 10. This software actually supports over 10 different languages. I mean, that is a massive leap forward for accessibility. It ensures that diverse communities and families from all sorts of backgrounds can comfortably use the app and stay in the loop about their loved ones' transport.
Next number up, 0. And honestly, this is probably the most surprising detail of the whole explainer. Absolutely 0 new hardware installs are required, and you do not need to buy any new vehicles. 0. A platform like BatOnRoute doesn't ask you to overhaul your entire physical fleet. It simply plugs right into the way your routes are already running today. So there's no massive capital expenditure up front. It's really just a much smarter way to manage what you already have.
And finally, the number 1. It takes literally just 1 day to get up and running. Because there's no complex hardware installation to mess with, the barrier to entry is just incredibly low. And that means the investment starts paying off from day 1. From the very first day you turn it on, you are seeing saved time, fewer administrative headaches, and a very sharp, very welcome drop in those anxious phone calls.
Well, we've covered a ton of ground today, looking at how moving away from those messy paper logs and spreadsheets towards centralized live tracking platforms completely transforms the day-to-day reality of adult social care. So I want to leave you with one final, really provocative question to think about. Is your transport management actually creating time for care, or is it just creating more friction? Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. I really hope this breakdown helps you visualize the future of transport in the care sector and leaves you curious to explore these digital solutions a bit further. Until next time, keep learning.